Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and juicy and delicious little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so. I hope that you're all super duper well wherever you are in the world and that life is treating you oh so wonderfully. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening to any passers-by, okay? So what do we do? And much love to you all, and I hope that you too are having a super duper wonderful time wherever you are in the world and that life is treating you wonderfully. So what do we do? 3, 2, 1, beam me up, okay? My juicy little lads. Now then, in my neck of the woods in the old UK, because I never mentioned the weather the other day, did I, on one of my videos? Well, I'm just going to be honest with you, everybody. I mean, that particular day, well, it was flipping, the weather was flipping awful. Everybody, okay, flipping bucketed it down, not just flipping a little bit, everybody, it flipping pelted it down, everybody, okay, but today it's brilliant sunshine, so it's a beautiful day, okay. Now then, there's a few things that I want to talk about, okay, and so I just thought, well, you know what? Just do a video, okay? Now, I do have something to say. Everybody, sorry, please excuse me. Yes. So it's just one of my neighbours up the road, God bless him. Okay, sorry, I do get distracted, everybody. Everybody knows me by now, my delicious babies, okay? Now then, can I please just say that, you know, I've noticed that I have received a couple of comments, okay? But when I've clicked on it, you know, just to see who was kind enough, you know, and that doesn't mean no, by the way, you know, to send me a comment, well, I cannot read it, everybody. So to whoever you are, my delicious little baby, I mean, I'm awfully sorry. Thank you for leaving a comment, but unfortunately, I cannot read it, okay? So there's clearly something going on, isn't there, everybody? So anyway, so that's that, okay? So I'm very sorry about that to whoever you are who's sent me a comment, okay? But unfortunately, there's just no way I can read it, okay? It's showing that there's a comment, you know, and thank you so much for even leaving me a comment. But it's just not letting me see anything. Okay, so I have no idea, you know, why, okay? So what I'm going to say to you is this, okay? So if you do happen to enjoy my video, okay, you do find it interesting, okay, if you could please click on the like. Also, if you haven't yet subscribed and you do happen to come across my channel and you do happen to enjoy my videos, well, if you could please click on the subscribe, okay? If you'd like to share my videos, you know, if you find them informative, then that's also super duper wonderful. And also, you know, if you'd like to leave a comment, please feel free, okay? And thank you. Now then, can I please just say to you, everybody, that I'm never here on my channel, okay, to you know, be disrespectful to anybody. Do you know what I mean? To have any dislike for anybody. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, I'm not a racist, I'm not prejudiced, okay? It's just I like to, and that doesn't mean yes, by the way, okay? You know, the thing is, I just like to have little discussions, okay? Now, for some of you juicy and delicious little babies out there, for some of you, you will agree, and for others of you, well, you will not agree, okay? But that's the whole beauty, isn't it, everybody? So the beauty of all of this is that we, you know, should be entitled to say what we want to say, okay? And we should have the freedom to say what we want to say, okay? Because not everybody's going to agree. If everybody in the world agreed, well, it would be mighty boring, wouldn't it, everybody, yes? So I want to just kick off. Now then, I just want to also advertise again, because I just think this gentleman is super duper delish and wonderful. Not in that way, everybody, okay? But please, I'm going to mention him once again because he's just so lovely, you know. He's super duper lovely. What a wonderful gentleman. And I love it when he, you know, plays on his old piano, you know what I mean? And he sings, you know. He's just so lovely. Do you understand what I mean? He, you know, he can, even if you're not having such a very good day or something, or maybe things go wrong in your life. I'm not talking about myself, by the way, everybody, okay? I'm just saying that it could happen, yes? But when you listen to him, well, he just brightens you up. Do you understand what I mean? He just has the super duper, and he's got a super duper way about him, just so lovely, and the way he comes across as well, okay? And his name is Professor Okay, Tim Wilson. Oh, he's lovely. Okay, so, you know, even if you just type that into YouTube, Professor Tim Wilson, oh, he's just lovely and delightful. He's a delight to listen to. Do you understand what I mean? Anyway, so anybody who I'm subscribed to, because I do believe I'm only subscribed to about 15. You know, 1-5. But anyway, you know, the ones who I'm subscribed to, well, they're super duper delish and wonderful. Do you understand what I mean? But anyway, I happened to be watching another video yesterday, everybody, right? And so we're going to kick this off. And what I'm going to say to you is, so please, if you could just take a look at our lovely Tim, okay? You know, you'll find him equally wonderful as well. He's just lovely, you know what I mean? Anyway, but not in that way, like I say, everybody, okay? So we're going to kick off by saying, yes, I was listening to a video yesterday. Now, I never ever want to say anything to make anybody feel uncomfortable, okay, everybody? So I just need to make that very clear, okay, from the offset, okay? Now, because I've already mentioned earlier, haven't I? Okay, a few moments ago. So what I'm going to say to you is, I was listening, and it was to do with China, basically. Okay, everybody. And, well, of course, I mean, I've known for decades. Do you see what I mean? I mean, there was even a Chinese. I was thinking about her this morning, actually. You know, she was in my class at school. You know what I mean? In my senior school, she was in the same class as me. Lovely, what was her name? Pretty sure it was Choi. You know, Choi. She's just a lovely, you know, well, at the time, she was a really lovely classmate. Do you understand what I mean? She was so lovely. And her mum and dad, well, they had a Chinese takeaway. Yes, I'll never forget that, you know. Yeah, she was lovely, though. She was ever so lovely. Anyway, so, of course, you know, I've known a lot of Chinese over the years, you know, and over the decades. Do you understand what I mean, everybody? And I personally like them, okay? However, I've never been out with a Chinese gentleman, and not being disrespectful, so please do not take me the wrong way when I say this, everybody, okay? But I would not go out with one. And there's only one reason why. It's just simply because, you know, it's just, you know, we all have a type, don't we? Well, for most of us. I mean, you get some where, you know, they can like somebody, I don't know, for just as an example, who has light hair, has dark eyes, or, you know, light eyes. Do you understand what I mean? Yes? But it's just simply because, do you understand what I mean? I just, you know, have a type. Do you understand what I mean? A specific type, okay? So that's the only reason, everybody, okay? So, you know, please do not take me offensively there, right? Okay? And everybody likes different types, yes? Whether you're a man or a woman, okay? So I didn't mean anything offensive by that whatsoever, okay? But and that doesn't mean yes, by the way, okay? So over the decades, yes, I've met many. And even when I was it just casted my mind back, you know, to decades ago, like when I was 12, 13, you know. And every now and again, you know, get like a Chinese, you know, takeaway. Do you see what I mean? Like, whereas my dad was more, you know, if we went out for meals and stuff, you know, he would, he liked the old, you know, God bless poor dear. Anyway, he loved the steaks and things like that. Do you know what I mean? Well, he's you know, my dad's a very well-built gentleman. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? You know, he's 6'2.5" as well. Okay, so so the thing is, you know, my dad was just into that sort of thing, you know, whereas, you know, so he wasn't really keen on eating Chinese food. Do you understand what I mean? He loved a curry. In fact, he cooked his, he learned to cook his very first curry in Singapore. Look at that. Do you see what I mean? I've still got somewhere his Singapore driver's licence, yes. So, like, that's that, yes. So, I mean, but my dad always liked Singapore anyway. When he learned to drive in Singapore, as well as learning to cook his first curry, everybody. Yeah, so, you know what I mean? So, and of course, another place that my dad liked was Germany. Do you know what I mean? He just loved both of those places, you know, Germany and Singapore. You know, he just said he just, you know, loved it there. Anyway, so getting back to the matter in hand now. So I was listening to this video, right, and, you know, it was discussing about, you know, Chinese and everything else. Well, even I know, and even when I was like 12, 13, you know, like I'd go in, you know, and go and order what I wanted to order, you know. And, by the way, I wasn't brought up on flipping junk food. That's something that you'd have from time to time, yes? But where I lived, we knew everybody anyway because it was all local shops and everything. Do you understand what I mean? And I do think that with local shops, that everybody, doesn't matter what country anybody's in, I do not mean that disrespectful, they should support their smaller shops and everything. Do you understand what I mean? Because it's more of a community, isn't it, where everybody knows everybody, But when you've got these supermarkets, it's like everybody's walking around like flipping robots, aren't they? Anyway, so let's fast forward. So, yes. And I even remember asking, because it just took my mind back, and I remember asking this gentleman, who owned the takeaway, and that's when I was 12, 13 years of age, everybody. And I remember saying, and asking a question, because with me, I was always flipping asking questions. I used to drive me flipping Dad Potter. Do you know what I mean? But I believe that's, a good sign for any bairn. The more questions they ask, well, they just want to learn, don't they? Do you know what I mean? But yes, I used to drive you mad. Anyway, not tomorrow, okay? But the fact of the matter is this, and even when I spoke to the gentleman behind, the counter in the takeaway, Chinese takeaway, and I said, do you like living in, here, like in the UK, in our country? And he said, yes. But you asked him if he would want to go back to China, and he said no. So I'm not saying this to be disrespectful to anybody. Do you see what I mean? I just believe that, dear God, Jesus Christ in Nazareth, our dear Creator, just loves the truth. Do you see what I mean? I know it's not going to sit right with everybody, but I do not mean anything offensive by it. It's just I'm just stating facts with whoever I've met over the years. Now, even when I go back 8 years ago, when I had my beautiful little Lacey, she was beautiful, my little rescue. She was just so beautiful and delightful, and she was very psychic as well, was my beautiful little Lacey. Anyway, and so I used to walk around, my youngest daughter, the school where she used to go. There used to be this great big massive lovely park. And we used to walk our beautiful little Lacey around, before my daughter went to school. So we'd go and walk Lacey. And I remember meeting, and I was thinking about her this morning, God love her, and a lovely lady, Chinese lady, and this is going back 8 years ago. And, she had two beautiful little daughters, Chinese family, yes. And I remember, many years ago, and she said to me, she asked my name and everything, yes, and I asked hers, okay, so I shall not, say. And, it was different with my classmate because we're going back decades and decades. Do you understand what I mean? Anyway, and she said, can I please stroke your little animal? I said, yes. I said, she won't harm you. She's so beautiful. Everybody loved my beautiful little Lacey. Mind you, everybody loves my beautiful little Rubes, my beautiful little Maisie as well. And they did my beautiful little Hutchie. God rest his beautiful dear soul, my beautiful little Hutchie. Anyway, get back to the matter in hand. So, of course, and then she was explaining to me, now this is the truth, everybody, okay? And she was explaining to me that, because they came from China to come and live, in the UK, as a family. Do you understand what I mean? And of course, both of her beautiful little daughters are so beautiful. Well, they're all beautiful. Well, you see, they were born in the UK as well. Do you see what I mean, everybody? Yes. So she'd been here, for some years, okay? And she actually said, because in her country, in China, and this is the truth, everybody, she said that they do not like animals very much. But what she was explaining was, she was telling me that she loves animals. Do you see what I mean? And she was so happy every time she'd see my beautiful little Lacey. She always fussed her. Do you see what I mean? Well, a lot did actually, okay? A man and woman fussed my beautiful little Lacey, right? And and she said it then, and then I asked her a question because, like I say, I like to ask questions. So I said, well, I said, would you ever move back to China? Because we'd walked, down so far. Do you see what I mean? She's taking little girls to school. And she said, no. And to be quite honest with you, even though she would, look forward to seeing her family who lived in China, okay? She would love to see her family, but she just said, and this was straight up, this is what she said, but she wasn't looking forward to going back there. To see her family, yes, but not to go there, to China. Do you see what I'm saying, everybody? And that is coming from a beautiful and wonderful Chinese lady. And she said she loves the UK. Do you see what I mean? And she was even thinking of getting a little animal. Do you see what I mean? Yes. But, you know, and she had her own reasons. And one of the reasons, because, we had many a conversation. And another reason is because, well, it's just too strict there. Do you see what I mean? So, and then we look at other things like, I mean, this is going back years and years ago now, everybody, where, you know, the little, and I remember her saying this to me as well. She actually said this to me, actually, but I knew a long time before that anyway. But she said, you know, she said if she was in her country, she wouldn't have been able to have her two little beautiful daughters. Do you see what I mean? She would only been able to have one. And that's the truth. Do you see what I mean? Whereas here, you know, even if she wanted to have a third little beautiful baby, well, you know, she could do that. Do you see what I'm saying to everybody? Yes. So, you know, I've heard many different things over the years. And then if you go into a Chinese takeaway, even going back 10, 20 years ago, do you understand what I mean? Well, you know, like I say, even longer. But what I'm saying to you is, you ask any of them, and they usually always run off their feet anyway. The old Chinese takeaways, God bless them, right? But the fact of the matter is, you ask any of them, say, would you like to go back to your own country? And they would say no. And they have said no. Because at the end of the day, yes, they're having to work hard, you know, because it is hard, especially in a takeaway business. It is hard because, you know, it's like order after order after order, you know what I mean? So they're busy from the time that the crack open to the time that they close. Do you see what I mean? But they would never, and I've had many a conversation with many Chinese, and they all seem to say the same thing. They would not go back to China under those circumstances. No? Do you see what I mean, everybody? Okay? Because we've got to look at things, right? So this is just my view on the world, everybody, right? This is how I view things, right? And I've even spoke to other nationalities, not only Chinese, God love them, they're so beautiful, you know. And they've got some excellent healers, I'll tell you that now. Some of the Chinese are wonderful healers. Do you know what I mean? Well, of course, as well as wonderful chefs. Do you understand what I mean? But other nationalities, you know, like Indian and everything, you know, and they say, which they've told me over the years, so it's only what I've been told, everybody, right? And this is straight up the truth. And I tell you the truth, I look you all in the eye. That they said if they could earn the pound, shilling, pence, dollars, change, ka-ching, you know, in their own country, well, they would go back to their own country. They tell you straight. Which is what I prefer, somebody just telling you straight. Do you see what I mean? Not going around the flipping houses or the mulberry bush. Do you know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is that it doesn't matter how we dress this up and what anybody, I mean, everybody has a different opinion, but to me, in China, it's communism. Yes, it is. I do not care what anybody tells me. Do you know what I mean? And then, of course, you know, we've got like, and of course, let's not forget either, which is true. This is true, because I listened to all the video, you know. But, and of course, I did leave a comment. It was a rather long one, by the way, but I did leave it, right? Because no, I mean, I do not leave comments very often, I must be honest, you know. I mean, I leave a comment, I suppose, when I feel like it with any channel, do you know what I mean? If I feel the need to leave a comment. Do you understand what I mean? But other than that, I do not usually. But I just felt the need to, you know, to leave sorry, let me rewind and start again. The point that I'm making is the comment that I left, I feel, yes, was my view on things. Do you see what I mean? Well, of course it will not sit right with everybody, will it? Do you see what I mean? But even when we go back a couple of years ago, I mean, what was all over and China with the old flipping COVID. Do you understand what I mean? But look at how the, God bless them, look at how the lovely Chinese have been treated. Do you see what I mean? Yes? Yes, plenty of flipping footage on that, isn't there? Do you see what I'm saying to you? Well, that's not nice to run a country. So anyone who says, oh yes, well, I like my leader, in China. No, they do not. It's a flipping barefaced lie, as far as I'm concerned. Do you know what I mean? You know, at the end of the day, the fact of the matter is, it does not matter how we dress this up. No, nobody wants to live under communism. And of course, I'm not being nasty now. I mean, we look at Mr. Putin, who's the leader of Russia. And don't get me wrong, I said it before and I'll say it again, he seems to be really the only one who does seem to talk common sense, to be quite honest with you. But if we really look at Russia, no, I've never been to Russia. I've met Russians in different countries. Yes, I have. And, they've never looked very happy. I'm not being nasty, but you can say that about the Chinese as well. A lot of them never seem to look very happy. And I'm not saying it to be disrespectful against anybody, but I'm speaking the truth. And dear God, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, dear God, our Creator loves the truth. Do you see what I mean? And at times, I'm going to be very honest with you, and this is going back years ago, when I met some of the Russians in different countries, well, I thought they was actually rather rude. I really did. For some of them. Not going to say all of them, but for some of them. Yes. And I remember going to a restaurant once, where was it now, in Turkey, Marmaris. And there's this Russian couple, right? And, because I'm going back some time now, because I was expecting my my eldest beautiful and wonderful little daughter, and how I love my beautiful daughters, so I love you, my delicious babies, right? And, so I was pregnant at the time. And, and the way that they, this man, Russian, treated the waiter, instead of talking, do you understand what I mean? He went, like that? What's all that about? Do you know what I mean? I just thought it was damn rude. Do you see what I mean? So I can say we have to look at other things, everybody. I can say why, do you know what I mean? Others may get a different feeling about some of the Russians. That's all I'm saying to you, everybody. It's like if you look at a lot of the Chinese, not saying this in a nasty way, but you see, they can be very serious, the same as the Russians, so they can be very serious. Do you understand what I mean? So they do not smile a lot. It seems to be honest with you, it seems to be mainly the men, to me, the way I see it. It seems to be mainly the men. And that's not being disrespectful, everybody, but that's what I found. Do you see what I mean? So that's all I'm saying. But if we look at China and we look at Russia, and I know that this is not going to sit right with everybody, and I'm sorry if if you do not agree with this, but both seem to have something in common, don't they? Communism. Well, I'm telling you straight, we do not want it in the old UK. No, we do not. We're already in a flipping horrendous mess, as it flipping well is, with our putrid flipping governments who are about as much use as a flipping ashtray on a motorbike or a flipping chocolate teapot, which is none at all. I said we need to get rid of them all. And really, it should be the same all around the world. And even for the poor Chinese, God love them, they should have more freedoms. Do you understand what yes, they should. Do you know what I mean? And this is what I'm saying. It's like certain countries command. Do you understand what I mean? Yes? It's like, oh, I command you to do this. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Yes? And then, of course, what it is, they want to bring it in the UK. Yes, they do. And I do not care what anyone tells me, but we do not want it. No, we do not. We're sick and flipping tired of flipping listening. And I feel sorry for these countries. Yes, I do. I do feel sorry for them. Do you know what I mean? And I especially feel sorry right now because obviously, everybody's firing at Russia. I don't mean in literal, terms, but what I mean is it's figure of speech. What I'm saying to you is, everybody's been rather negative, aren't they? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? But like I say, at the end of the day, do you know what I'm saying to you? These leaders, right? It doesn't matter what anybody says to me. It is. It's like it has to be run their way. Do you see what I mean? That's just the way. It's all right, it's gone super bright in my lounge. That's just the way I see it, everybody. And I'm not going to change my view of how I see things. You know, and I just wanted to share that all with you. Do you know what I mean? But nobody wants to be told to do this and told to do that. Do you see what I'm saying to you? And then they talk about, oh, you know, that there's no, what's it called, credit system and all these things. Yes? Yes, there is. Do you know what I mean? It just seems to be a very different, you know, what some out there seem to say. That's all I'm saying. Do you understand what I mean, everybody? You know, that's what I have to say on it. But, I mean, even in China, but to say to them, oh, you can only have one little Ben, one little baby. Well, since when does any leader, you know, it's been going on years, you know, since when does any leader have the right to say, oh, you can only have one? Do you know what I mean, everybody? That's just the way I see it. It's the way I'll always flipping see it. Do you know what I mean? And then, of course, you've got that, what's his flipping name? Flipping Macron in flipping France. Well, I mean, he's just another twat, isn't he? Do you understand what I mean? See, what we need, I've said it before and I say it again and I keep saying it till I'm blue in the face. What we need is good businessmen to lead our countries, you know, in different countries, everybody. That's what we need. Good businessmen. You know, because I actually do believe that, you know, good businessmen, that there we go, before I even say it, they would do a wonderful job. Because there would be more understanding. I'm not talking about appointing, you know, the selfish ones. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the ones who have an understanding of man and woman out here. Do you see what I mean? That they understand. In fact, you know, I mean, you can get some wonderful business gentlemen, you know, and what it is, not in that way, everybody. What I mean is that they're actually, even though they've got what they've got, but they're still rather humble. That's what we would need, somebody, you know, some lovely gentleman like that, running our countries, all of the different countries, do you know what I mean, in the UK and everywhere else. Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies? Well, if I had my way, everybody, I've got to break it up for a moment. If I had my way, well, I'd have my beautiful Alex Christopher. Oh, yes, I would. Do you know what I mean? I'd have him running our country, okay? So, yes, I would. Do right, I would. Do you know what I mean? Because he's a lovely and delicious gentleman. Yes, he is. Right? So that's what, you know, I had to get that in there, everybody, okay? I just like to have a bit of a laugh sometimes. You know, not in that, do you know what I mean? I'm not laughing at it. I just think he's wonderful and delicious and gorgeous, okay? So what I'm saying is this you have somebody like our little Alex, do you see what I mean? And other similar gentlemen to him. Do you see what I mean? Who's got a way where they can talk, you know, to a man and woman out there in such a way, you know, to ask, you know, and to ask in their countries, to ask their citizens, doesn't matter what country it is, everybody, right, to ask them in their, you know, different countries, well, you know, as citizens, well, what would you like to see change? What changes would you like to, but you see, what's happening is, and it's been happening for so long, everybody, that nobody, we're just not given a choice on anything. And it goes to show with our putrid flipping governments now in the UK and in other flipping countries. Look at that flipping in Canada, that flipping Trudeau, that flipping twat. Flipping nasty piece of shite he is. Well, they all are anyway. Do you understand what I mean? Like I said, there is only one who does talk common sense, and that is Mr. Putin. You know, I've just got no idea what flipping, there must be on planet Nanu for all these other governments around the world, because they're certainly not on our flipping song sheet at all. And of course, nobody's getting the choice to say anything, are we? Do you see what I mean? I mean, I do not vote anyway, I haven't voted for years, but what I'm saying is that for a lot, that, well, they're just, sorry, I've got that, yeah, sorry. You know, they're just not being able to vote, are they? Do you know what I mean? In reality, none of us want any of these in. No. So I just say that the sooner the better we flipping boot them out, the better. Get rid of all of them. Like I said, we get wonderful and delicious, not in that way, everybody, business gentlemen who have that humbleness, who have that kindness about them. And there are a lot of gentlemen, business gentlemen like that. Do you see what I mean? It's just you never hear of it. That's the only difference. Do you see what I mean? Yes? But then, of course, they could show the putrid, all these twats in our country, the flipping putrid twat government, right? Show them how it's flipping done. And let's look at Rishi Sunak while I'm on the subject, everybody. Well, Rishi Sunak, well, of course, I mean, he's married to his wife, whose father was a billionaire, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? So do you see what I mean? So Rishi Sunak has married into it. I already knew this long time, even before he was Prime Minister. And he's a twat, isn't he? But the thing is, he's not there to help us in the old UK. No, he's not. Do you see what I mean? And of course, he's just been put in, like the others, who are also twats. Do you understand what I mean? And just put him in so that he can run us into the ground even more. Do you see what I mean? And they're still going on about these poor migrants, aren't they? It seems to me there's a lot of distractions because behind the scenes, everybody, right, there's other things going on, isn't there? Things that are rather nasty. Do you see what I'm saying to you, everybody? Yes? But I feel sorry for the migrants. Yes, I do. I mean, okay, we're hearing the odd, I do believe, we're hearing the odd stories here and there, in the UK where there's been a few things go on, it seems. But at the end of the day, the fact is they do not want to live like that either, do they? Do you see what I'm saying to you, everybody? So it seems very much to me that everybody in the world, well, none of them want to live like this, do they? Because really everybody just wants to live in peace, love and harmony. Yes, they do. And one final thing I want to talk about, everybody, so I'm just going to have a sip of my coffee, please, and thank you. Yes? So you see, the thing is this, and I know it's a delicate subject, everybody, right? So I'm going to, I'm just going to say I'm very sorry. I'm not here to hurt, offend or upset anybody, okay? Anybody, whether you're in the UK and you're listening to me, you're so kind enough to listen, or if you're in another country, okay? I do not mean it that way, everybody, okay? But there's something I want to talk about. And that is that, okay. So if we go back decades, right, like you had larger families then, okay, like in Ireland, in India, in Pakistan, in different countries, yes, okay? And what it is that, you see, at those times, I've got to find a way to sort of put this where it's not coming across as offensive or anything, because I do not mean anything by that, anybody, right? No, I do not, okay? But those are the times where you see, and of course, especially in Ireland, where, in order to get work, that the husbands had to go and, they had to go and travel elsewhere, to go and get work and everything like that, yes? And we're going back decades now. And of course, there was also the stories of, because it is all true, everybody, right? There's, every time they went back to their dear wife, God bless her, obviously, well, we all know, don't we? We all know, with a man and a woman. Do you understand what I mean? Which takes place. We all know that. Do you understand what I mean? With a husband and wife, aren't they? But of course, every time they came back, what then happened? Well, what happened is that, the husband's dear wife, well, she was pregnant again. So you see what it is, it's like then you have the massive families, and of course it's the same in Pakistan, it's the same in India. Do you understand what I'm saying to everybody? Yes? Okay? Yes? So what it is, everybody, like, say for example, and I do want to talk about this because this is something that, really I've been meaning to talk about for quite a while actually, and I just For some reason, I just kept putting it off, but really I shouldn't put it off, because I'm just trying to explain something, everybody, the way I see things. Well, the thing is, if you look at the average, okay, so I'm not meaning this disrespectfully now. No, I am not, okay? But if you look at the average in a relationship, now I've known this a long time, decades, right? That in a relationship, how many men, and I'm not saying this about every single man, by the way, everybody, so please, before anybody gets on their high horse, I do not mean it like that about every single man, okay? But for most men, right, and this is a well-known fact, and for any delicious and wonderful little ladies out there, right, who are following, who are kind enough to follow me and kind enough to even listen to my video, you're going to get where I'm coming from, because you will always, even if it is not yourself personally, you will know somebody else who has gone through this. Yes, you will. But there's not very many men, everybody, right, so I'm not being sexist at all, right, who would refuse to use contraception. Do you see what I mean? So all the time, everybody, it's been put on the poor woman's shoulders, the poor lady's shoulders. Yes, it has. Oh, they must have the, what's it called? They must have the, what we call, it's a contraceptive pill. Okay, well, they must have the contraceptive pill, right? But then the man doesn't do anything. And that is for a fact, everybody. I'm not saying about every single gentleman. No, I am not. But what I'm saying, sorry, it's my gardeners, God bless them. They're so beautiful. They're, husband and wife. They're just mow my lawn. Sorry, everybody. So if you can hear it in the background, because to the left you've got the flipping washing machine going, so that's to close the door, and to the right you've got the lawn mowers. Do you see what I mean? Anyway, so I do apologise for the noise, everybody. Okay, but my grass does have to be cut. God bless them. I love them so. Okay. Anyway. So getting back to the matter in hand, so yes, so the amount of men, so then what ends up happening is, so if the woman does not go on a contraceptive pill, well then what happens then? God bless her, she's blessed where she can have little babies, okay, because everybody's situation's different, everybody, so I'm not saying it to her to offend or upset anybody, okay, but, she ends up pregnant then, doesn't she? Do you see what I mean? So what I'm saying is that, and I do not mean this disrespectfully, everybody, but what I'm saying is that you would need to have, right, something put in place at least, right, to prevent lots and lots of pregnancies. Because otherwise, and I do not mean this in a nasty way, because otherwise what would end up happening is, you may have a lovely lady out there, and she could end up with quite a number of little babies. I mean, please do not get me wrong. For every little baby, it is a blessing. I'm not saying that, everybody, because it's true. They're so beautiful. Do you understand what I mean? And no little baby, a little bairn or anything should ever be harmed. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Yes? But what I'm saying is that unless something was put in place, well, we'd then be going back to the decades and decades ago, wouldn't we? Where you'd have like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Do you see what I mean? Babies, well, I mean, and not only that, that's an awful lot. The way I see it anyway. So I can only, think that it would be quite, a lot on a lady's body, wouldn't it? If you keep having babies. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying, for no one to have, I'm not saying that. So please, nobody get me the wrong way. But what I'm saying is that if we look at it with the majority of men, I'm not saying everyone, every gentleman, no. But for most, I mean, and a lot of them, and I've heard this so many times over the decades, they do not even want to use, well, I call it a sleeping bag. They do not even want to use that, do they? Do you see what I mean? So then it's left on the woman's, the lady's shoulders. Do you see what I'm saying to you? But obviously, man and woman are meant to, together. Do you know what I mean? Because it's natural, isn't it? But then, but then there's others who, that's scared, which I've known this over the decades as well, they're that scared. They just do not want to, be pregnant, or for some of them, maybe they've had 2 or 3 little babies. Do you understand what I mean? And they feel that their family is complete. For those who are blessed, God bless them, because everybody's situation is different, like I say, and they feel that the family is complete, so they do not want anymore. Well, of course, then that's when you then had what's called the, where women were being sterilised, and ladies are being sterilised. So there's a lot of that going on. Do you see what I mean? Going back, cannot remember exactly, is it between 20 and 30 years ago? Do you see what I mean? I know ladies are being sterilised, everybody. Do you see what I mean? But it would be mainly for the dear lady, dear woman, to get sterilised, right? But you do not see a lot of men, gentlemen, no, who, what do they call it? They call it the snip. Okay, so at the end of the day, to get the old snip, because a lot of gentlemen would not want to have that done, and I've known them over the years. Do you see what I mean? So all I'm saying is, everybody, is that, I mean, like I say, it's a very tricky and delicate subject, but at the same time, certain things need to be spoken about. Do you know what I mean? I mean, of course, we love to see where families, do you know what I mean? And they've got like, 3 or 4. Do you understand what I mean? And they feel that the family's complete, and they've got mum and dad. Well, some of, you only got mum, and some you've only got dad. But what I'm saying to you is that really, if you look at it now, and in the UK, I'm only saying, I haven't looked at any surveys or anything like that, right? But I feel myself personally that you see a lot of families, shall we say, who, well, they usually have 1 or 2. So on my road, where we live, right, well, I know, 3 or 4 families who've only got 1 bairn. And then there's others, like who have got 2. Do you see what I mean? But, I mean, I've got 2. Do you see what I'm saying to you? So it's more sort of that, if you know what I mean. And you're not even hearing it now. Well, I haven't anyway. I mean, if I'm not correct, then please somebody correct me. But I'm just going on personal experience. I'm not even hearing a lot of, with the Asian families, where they're having, more than 2 bairns, no? Do you see what I mean? So it does seem to be shrinking, getting smaller, if you know what I mean, everybody. Do you see what I'm saying to you? So I'm just saying it the way I see it. Do you see what I mean? But sometimes for some of the men, gentlemen, not all of them, no, but for some, they need to take into consideration their wife or their girlfriend here and see how she's feeling. Because some of those contraceptive pills, by the way, right, and I know this decades, well, they can give you blood clots. Do you see what I mean, everybody? And I know that decades. Do you see what I mean? And for others, well, it, gives them a lot of nauseousness. Do you see what I mean? So even to take a tablet, if your body's not liking it, they want to reject it because it's sort of something that's, that your body doesn't agree with. Do you see what I'm saying? And it could be very difficult for a lady out there, for a lady out there, yes, to even be able to take that contraceptive pill, everybody. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is where I think that, that there needs to be more consideration. Only for some men and gentlemen out there, not all, okay? but just to consider their wife or girlfriend in all of this. Do you see what I mean? Because for some ladies and women, well, they may not be ready for a family. You know, they could be, let's just say, very career-minded. Do you understand what I mean? And, you know, for others, they may even say to themselves, well, you know, for some of them, well, do you know what I mean? They're just simply just not ready. There could be a number of reasons why they're not ready. They might just, I don't know, want to travel around or do different things like that. Do you see what I'm saying to everybody? That's all I'm saying. I mean, I personally, I had my beautiful and delicious little daughters. I mean, I had them later in life, you know, because I was very much at one time, I mean, you wouldn't think that of me now, everybody, but at one time I was very ambitious. Do you understand what I mean? So, you know, I used to enjoy my, do you know what I mean, going on holidays and doing different things, and I used to enjoy my work, so I wasn't ready. I just was not ready to be a mum. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, but I'm just being honest with you all. Do you see what I'm saying to you? But like I say, I mean, it doesn't matter what age anybody is when they become a mum or a dad, right? The fact of the matter is, I mean, the reality is anybody really ready? Do you see what I mean? Because what we've got to remember is as well, is that nobody gets a manual. So you do not get a manual to tell you how to do things, to explain how to do things. You just have to do it as you go along. And then if you're blessed, if you've got, you know, a family member, whether it's a mum or, you know, sadly for some, if your dear mum's passed over or something and you've got a nana or you've got, you know, who can, you know, help you or to, you know, and to talk to you and things like that, well, then that's a blessing as well, isn't it? Do you see what I mean? But I do not honestly feel that anybody really is ready, even if they do decide to plan for a family. You know, sometimes, and I've known this over the decades as well, only with some, not with all, but they've been wanting and wanting and wanting. And of course, when baby arrives, well, you know, and in some cases, very sadly, it's actually split couples up. Yes. Because they, you know, because they thought they were ready and then they realised that there was not. You know, so that's all I'm saying, everybody. But then you've got, on the other hand, then you've got, you know, some families where they plan a family and, you know, and they welcome their little babies and everything's beautiful and delicious. Do you see what I'm saying to you, everybody? Yes? So what I'm saying is, it's all different things is what I'm saying to you. Do you see what I mean? But all I'm saying is that, you know, if man and woman get together, obviously, you know what I'm saying, to have a physical closeness with each other, well, you know, unless there happens to be, God bless the dear ladies out there, complications or, you know what I mean? But for the other ladies, delicious ladies who are, you know, because they're all delicious regardless, not in that way, everybody, okay? But, you know, who do not struggle to conceive, well, do you understand what I mean? They could be very fertile. You know, and they could even be scared, you know, even though they enjoy a physical closeness. But the second that they do have a physical closeness, well, they could end up, do you understand what I mean? I mean, we just call it, it's only a figure of speech, everybody. I do not mean it in a nasty way, okay? But, you know, they end up with the bun in the oven, don't they? Sorry. Do you see what I'm saying to you, everybody? Yes? So that's, you know, that's all I wanted to say, really. See, all I'm wanting to do is just explain things the way that I see it, okay? And we have to look at different angles of different things. Do you see what I mean, everybody? Yes? But the one thing that we do not want in our old UK, and really nobody else should want it in their countries, is communism. No? Do you know what I mean? And this is where the UK got to put the flipping foot down. Do you know what I mean? And anyway, one more thing. Do you remember all months ago, right, when flipping that twat Bill Gates? Well, he landed in the old UK, didn't he? I forgot to mention this in my videos over the months, actually, right? And, well, what right does he have? Do you know what I mean? I mean, okay, if he was just visiting, well, that's it, but then no, he wasn't. He's been telling our putrid government what to do. Because obviously he's a lackey for, you know who. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? Anyway, that's all I have to say, everybody, okay? Because I need to go out and say thank you to my wonderful and delicious little husband and wife, God bless them, who, you know, just done my garden, okay? So that's the end of the video, basically, and I'm sorry if it's gone on a while. It's just, I just like to look at things at all different angles, that's it. But the one thing with me, I'm not here to hurt, offend, or upset anybody, okay? So if anybody feels that way, I'm very sorry that you feel that way, but, you know, I just like to say what I've got to say, okay? And I just wanted to share it. Okay, so that's my video for today, everybody. So thank you so very much, even if you even take the time just to please listen to the video, okay? But until my next video, and I wish you all a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, my delicious babies. So my lights go off now, everybody, okay? So wherever you are in the world, just have a beautiful and delicious time, okay? And until my next video, much love, God bless, take care, thank you, goodbye.